Why do we need real estate transactions to be digital? Buyers and sellers are online. Real estate-related Google searches have grown 253% over the last 4 years. 90% of the home buyers start their searches online, and out of that, 39% were senior home buyers. This is not only for the young and hip. A traditional real estate closing requires the buyers and sometimes sellers to come to a closing at a predetermined place and time to review and sign the documents. This can take upwards of an hour or more. A digital closing will make for a time-saving and transparent experience for our mutual customers. With new legislation and enhanced technology, the real estate transaction is entering a digital transformation. Thank you for joining us on this journey as we navigate through a 3-part webinar series. We start today's session by defining electronic signatures. In the second session, we'll go through the differences between a hybrid and a full closing, and for the last session, we'll wrap up the digital closing series by discussing the specifics of remote online notaries. Our biggest challenge driving digital transformation is not technology, but leading the change. F&F created a team of business process professionals working with underwriting to provide guidance and leadership to our operations, agents, sales, and customers. The digital solution team has a direct responsibility to deliver approved digital solutions with the highest level of facilitation and support for all aspects of the digital transaction to include education and training. Our mission to improve the end-to-end real estate transaction for the consumer and streamline the process for all participants, as well as transform the way F&TG conducts business from paper to digital. We are here to lead the change. For today's topic, we'll be discussing electronic signatures and further defining in-person and remote online notaries. Anytime you make a purchase with a credit card and are asked to sign a digital pad or type a PIN number, you're using an electronic signature or e-signature. Anytime you make a purchase on the internet and click the Submit Order button, you're electronically signing a purchase agreement. Electronic signatures have become a commonplace in the retail world and are also becoming a commonplace in the larger transactions, such as the purchase of a home. E-signatures can be made in a different number of ways, but they are considered as legally valid as a signature on a piece of paper, often called a wet signature. The Uniform Electronic Transaction Act was completed by the National Conference of Commissioners on Uniform State Law in 1999. UITA defines electronic signature as an electronic sound, symbol, or process attached to or logically associated with a record and executed or adopted by a person with the intent to sign the record. What this means, UITA allows for document signers and notaries to sign electronic documents with any electronic sound, symbol, or process that they intend to be their legal electronic signature. In June 2000, the U.S. Congress passed the Electronic Signature in Global and National Commerce Act, or eSign. It was created to remove barriers to electronic commerce for interstate and international financial transaction, and also states the requirements for notarization. eSign provisions overlap significantly with UITA's and designed to coexist. In 2004, the NCC-USL approved the Uniform Real Property Electronic Recording Act, another model law offered for voluntary adoption by states. While e-recording of digital documents are already possible under UITA and eSign where applicable, UPIRA further clarified the authority of recording officials to receive, record, and retrieve electronic land records and information. Where are we today with electronic signatures within our company? Many of our operations have different use cases for e-signatures. Under the escrow operations, for sending, gathering data, and obtaining signatures for escrow opening packages, cash closings, post-closings for follow-up documents. Our HR and administrative departments will use e-signatures for onboarding new employees, time cards, expense reports, and various approvals. F&F Underwriting approves our use of e-signatures provided that we obtain the appropriate permissions from all parties to the transaction. Now, depending on the jurisdiction and its recording laws, select documents like the note and the deed of trust may still need to be wet ink signed, notarized, and recorded. Electronic notarization, or e-notarization, is essentially the same as paper notarization, except the document being notarized is in digital form, and the notary signs with an electronic signature. Depending on the state law, the information in the notary seal may be placed on an electronic document as a graphic image or other available means, but all other elements of the traditional paper notarization remains the same, including the requirements of the signer to physically appear before the notary. We can offer e-notarization in states that have specific legislation authorizing electronic notarization. Notaries are able to electronically sign and seal the document. This type of e-notarization typically still requires that the signer and the notary public are physically present in the same location. Unlike with traditional notarization, RON, or Remote Online Notarization, makes use of video and audio technology on the internet to allow signers to personally appear before and communicate with the notary at the time of notarization without being in the same physical location. Fidelity National Title Group has approved only a few states such as Virginia and Montana to allow their commissioned notaries to remotely notarize documents, specifically Virginia notaries for Virginia properties and Montana notaries for Montana properties. The state of Texas will also be added to the approved list late 2018. In order to ensure the validity of the process, a reputable vendor should be utilized. These vendors have proven methods of authentication such as what the signer possesses, what the signer knows, who the signer is. It's important to understand you cannot simply just use a webcam. Thank you for attending the first session of a 3-part webinar series. Hope to see you at the next one where we'll talk about hybrid and full digital closings. Please stay on the line for a brief Q&A. Make sure you type your questions in the question box. Time permitting, we will answer them live or follow up with an email response.